On your mark, get set, go! Sports Jam is here. We'll take you to the Dome for Prep Bowl fun as the football season comes to a close. And it's nice on the ice as we preview the local hockey season. Sports Jam starts right now.
Hi there and welcome to Sports Jam. I'm Jay Wilcox.
And I'm Drew Keogh, pinch hitting for John Jacobson. It's that time of year again as we transition into winter sports mode. On this week's program, it's part one of our winter sports preview.
But we will start the program by wrapping up the final events from the fall. That includes Prep Bowl 23. Two area teams played in the football finals. Totino Grace in Class 4A and Wayzata in 5A. The Trojans were in the championship game for the first time ever, and they're fired up to face another first-time entrant rival, Minnetonka. It's a game of big plays, and Wayzata gets the first one as Quinn Hendel bursts through a gap, and he runs by the skipper's defense. Hendel goes 50 yards for the score, and Wayzata leads it 7-0. After a Tonka field goal, Jalon Hopkins strikes with a Prep Bowl record run. Hopkins is untouched by the Trojans' defense, and you're not going to catch him. Hopkins goes 84 yards to set a new mark that puts Minnetonka up 10-7. Wayzata's turn next. Hendel follows good blocks and easily scores for a 14-10 second quarter lead. A huge play here. Jesse Nelson throws to Chris Jopru, who throws it to Hopkins on the double pass. Hopkins looks like he might score on this play, but Alex Haas strips the ball and recovers it himself to keep Wayzata in the lead at halftime. Big turning point here, though. After Wayzata recovered a skipper's fumble, the Mike Freeze pass tipped and picked off by Matt Reisinger. Freeze runs him down, but it's a big play for Tonka. And it leads to a Sam Buckman field goal, his third of the game, and it's 16-14 Skippers. And with the game winding down, Hopkins gets loose again. His 72-yard run seals Minnetonka's first state football title. A great game, but a tough one to lose for the Trojans.
Yeah, you know, this one hurts. I thought we played really well. I thought we played hard. We gave up some big plays. We made some big plays, had some chances. Just didn't quite get it when we needed it. A couple calls that could have gone the other way might have made a difference too, but they're a good club. It's no disgrace losing to those guys, but oh boy, it's going to hurt for a while.
Well, Totino Grace had a chance to make it back-to-back titles in Class 4A. The Eagles seeking a fourth state title in football. They won twice back in the late 70s. They faced Sartell. Mike Schumacher, a great play as he stuffs the Sartell run. It's 0-0 in the second quarter when a special teams play goes Grace's way. The punt is fumbled, and Joel Langevin pounces on it for the Eagles. And it leads to this play. Injured halfback Jake Sweet pulls up and throws the halfback pass downfield to Bobby Clint for the leaping catch and touchdown, 7-0 Grace. And in the fourth quarter, the Eagles put it away. Already up 14-0. Tony Pasteur's keeping on the bootleg. Totino Grace rolling to a 21-0 lead. Ray Wilson helps seal it away with a touchdown run for a 27-zip lead. Sartell does get a late touchdown, but it's Grace hoisting the championship trophy with a 27-6 victory.
You know, we thought it was definitely going to be a tough one, but all that hard work and practice definitely paid off. We came out here playing our hearts out, and we definitely deserved this one tonight.
Impressive outing, certainly, for Totino Grace. And really, that Wayzata Minnetonka game was a great football game. So many big plays back and forth. I mean, we only had a chance to show you about half of them there, but it didn't come out Wayzata's way.
Yeah, it was a great season, sad end of the season, but it just seemed Minnetonka had their number this year.
Got 2 wins over them.
Besides football, the other fall athletes to wrap up their season last week were swimmers and divers. An electric atmosphere at the University of Minnesota Aquatic Center. In the 200 freestyle, it's Champlain Park's Liz Hallett in the silver cap. Guyana's Megan Brown picks up the win, but Hallett finishes second. On to the diving competition. Emily Husted of Wayzata is the top local finisher. She finishes 16th as former Wayzata state champ Jamie Sanger looks on. Back to swimming, the 100 free. Jenny Shaughnessy of Rochester, John Marshall is the champ, but Hallett of Champlain Park picks up another silver medal as the runner-up. In the 500 freestyle, Alex O'Brien of Cretin-Durham Hall races to the victory, but Carrie Gunderson of Hopkins takes a close second-place finish. And in the 100 backstroke, Maggie Meyer of White Bear Lake is the winner. And then on the top of the screen, Rebecca Ney of Wayzata is in 7th place. Here's what a couple local placers had to say.
I had to say I wasn't expecting it, but it's pretty nice. I mean, you can't really argue with going best times. It's always a really good thing to do.
I don't know, it's one of the best feelings ever. Just, you know, all season you work hard and you just get to be up there, and it's really cool.
As we check the team results, Edina wins the 2A title with Stillwater 2nd and Lakeville 3rd. Hopkins places 6th with Wayzata 10th. Maple Grove was 17th, Champlain Park 21st. Benilde St. Margaret's won the Class A championship.
With that, the fall sports season comes to a close and we turn our attention to winter sports. We'll start with boys hockey in the Classic Lake and a quick refresher on how things went in the 2003-2004 season. Wayzata went unbeaten in conference play with just one tie on the record. Surprising, St. Louis Park finished second with Edina third and Minnetonka fourth. Armstrong won 5 league games while Cooper and Hopkins each went 1-11. Big things were expected of Wayzata, and the Trojans delivered, winning 24 games in all, and most importantly, advancing to state for the first time in 50 years. After crushing Tartan in the quarterfinals, the Trojans fell to eventual champ Centennial in the semis. Wayzata went on to place 4th.
This season figures to be another good one in the Classic Lake Conference. Wayzata started the season a little shorthanded because of the school's run to the Prep Bowl in football. The Trojans won the Channel 12 Turkey Trot Tournament over the weekend. Though they may not be quite as deep as they were last season, it should be another very strong Wayzata squad. Standouts like Kevin Weers, Kurt Davis, and James Laurinaitis on defense. Joey Miller and Tony Lucia up front make this a contender to get back to state. Armstrong is a very senior-laden team. The Falcons have much of last year's team back, and they're off to a 1-2 start this season. Dylan Mueller leads the returners up front, while a solid defense core is off to a good start. Cooper and Hopkins hope to climb the ladder this year just a little bit. And here's what Wayzata and Armstrong guys expect.
Win state. That's it. You know, we want to be the best that we can be, and it's the best we can be. Win state tournament, so that's our goal.
We lost a lot of seniors, but our returning lettermen are top in the state right now, and we're excited for that, and we know that we can bring a lot of success this year.
Expectations, I think, would be try to win the conference, maybe get rid of the Coliseum and get as far as we can go, maybe section championships, and see if we can make it to state.
Jay, Wayzata definitely showed that they should be a pretty solid team again this year as they won the Turkey Trot Tournament over the weekend.
That was fun to watch them. They definitely have some star power on that team. Time for a quick break. Straight ahead on the Jam. See who's hot on the ice as part one of our winter preview continues.
Welcome back to Sports Jam.
And we'll jump back into our part one of our winter sports preview. We'll take a look at Northwest Suburban Conference boys hockey, starting with a review of last season. A great 4-team race came down to the final night of the season, with Elk River edging out Maple Grove. Osseo and Anoka tied for third, as all 4 teams were in double figures in league wins. Champlain Park went 7-9, while Park Center won 3 games in the conference. Though they each had pretty young teams, Maple Grove and Osseo each had successful seasons. Grove won 18 games in all and advanced to the Section 4 AA title game, where they lost a 1-goal game to Elk River. Osseo won 6 of 8 at mid-season, including win at Elk River. The Orioles fell in the first round of the playoff, though, as Champlain Park advanced to the 4 AA semis in the Coliseum for the first time in nearly a decade. The Rebels were then eliminated by Maple Grove. This season, defending Class AA champ Centennial joins the Northwest Suburban to make it stronger than ever. Osseo expects to contend with a veteran roster. The Orioles have an almost unheard of 17 letter winners back. They opened with an overtime win over Edina before losing to Warroad. Goalie Matt Wanvig is a good one. And guys like Jake Pernula, Matt Morin, Jim Jensen, Case Paxton, Jake Liniani, and others have plenty of experience and talent. Maple Grove had a few unexpected player losses to off-ice issues, but the Crimson have some good young players that are filling the gaps. They took second in the Turkey Trot Tournament over the weekend. They'll be defensive-minded this year, with conference goals against leader Tim Christosek back in net, along with standout defensemen Ben Youds and Ryan Kafis. Kyle Matson leads the returners up front for the Crimson. Champlain Park has a new coach in Paul Bailey. The Rebels lost some scoring punch, but did put 6 on the board in a win over Rochester John Marshall in their opener. The Rebels do have some good building blocks back, including defenseman Jake Bauer. Park Center is likely to struggle as the number of players in the program has dipped. Here's what some local players expect.
We're building from the net on out. as long as no goals get by, we have an opportunity to win every game. So as long as our forwards put the puck in the net, we should be all right.
Our schedule is really tough this year, but we hope because we're playing such tough competition that we'll eventually, you got to be the best. You got to beat the best to be the best. So we're going to try to come out hard against every team we play and all the top-ranked teams. We're going to try our hardest to come out with a win.
Well, I think we can get to the section finals, even win it. I mean, if we keep working hard and practicing hard every day, we should be able to get to that section finals and even come up big in the finals and maybe go to state.
Last year, the Breck boys hockey team finished off their season in style. The Mustangs finished off a 28-1-2 season by beating Orono for the Class A championship. NHL first-round draft pick Blake Wheeler scored 100 points for the Mustangs. It was Breck's second title in 4 years. They outscored their state tournament opponents 20-5. Tino Grace went 16-11 for the season, losing to the Mustangs in the Section 5A semifinals. This season, with Wheeler now playing in the USHL, last year's second leading scorer Robbie D will be counted on to lead the way heavily. Other key returners include goaltender Alec Richards, forward Jordan Fulton, Andrew Burkholtz, and defenseman Brent Kennelkamp. Maple Grove transfer Andy Inderreeden is a Mustang now as well. Here's what those players expect.
We just got to come back and regroup, and we got to challenge this year to repeat. And you know it's going to be hard. We got to work hard every day because no game is going to be easy because you know everyone's gunning for us, and we just got to play hard every game.
First, we got to work out day in and day out, and got to win our conference, and then hopefully from there we can win our section and make it to the state tournament this year again.
Well, and Drew, we also got, of course, Benilde St. Margaret's with some players from the area. They figure to be a very strong team. We'll be fighting it out with Breck. And Tino Grace, I think, is expected to have a little better team this year than last as well.
Those teams, every year, they seem to have great talent on those teams and high expectations.
Yeah, they sure do.
Now to girls hockey. Let's take a look first at the Northwest Suburban Conference standings from last season. It was the usual crew at the top as eventual state champion Elk River and Anoka tied for Northwest Suburban Championship last season with 15-1 marks. Blaine was third. Maple Grove went 9-7 to finish fourth. Champlain Park had 6 conference wins, while Park Center won 3, and Osseo took 1 league game. Maple Grove earned the second seed in the Section 4 AA tournament last winter before falling to third seed Coon Rapids in the semifinals. Champlain Park was blanketed by eventual section champion Anoka in the other semifinal.
Well, as is the case with boys hockey, the Northwest Suburban becomes a tougher girls league with the addition of Centennial. The Cougars were the North Suburban Conference champs last year. Champlain Park is hoping this is their season to move up the ladder in the league. The Rebels bring back several players from last season, but know they'll need a consistent effort every game to improve on their 6th place conference finish. Maple Grove went 1-1 in their Thanksgiving tournament over the weekend, giving them 3rd place and a 3-3 overall record so far this winter. Both Park Center and Osseo look improved in the early going, and here's a sampling of what to expect.
I would say, a top 3 in the Northwest Suburban Conference for us this year. I would say we'll compete very well in Section 4 AA to go to the state tournament.
Anoka is always the team to beat for us. They're our biggest rivals. They're always what we strive for to beat. So Anoka's always there. Elk Rivers, there's always that Elk River that we want to beat them. They're always really strong. They always have really strong teams. Blaine, I heard Blaine is not as strong as they used to be, but that's still, there's always a challenge with those 3 teams, Elk River, Blaine, and Anoka.
In the Classic Lake, there was a clear-cut #1 last winter. Wayzata walked away with the league title, winning all 12 conference games. Edina was second, with St. Louis Park edging Hopkins for 3rd. Armstrong had 2 conference victories, while Cooper won once. Wayzata was a top 10 team all season long, winning 21 games overall against a good schedule outside of their league. The Trojans came up short in the Section 6 AA tournament, falling to Chaska in the semifinals.
Well, this season, teams will try to knock Wayzata off the top rung of the ladder in the final season of the current Classic Lake alignment. Though they lost some key seniors from last year, the Trojans are definitely the team to beat again in the 2004-2005 season. An already talented group is bolstered by the addition of former Orono star Christina Lee. Wayzata won the Turkey Shoot tournament in Buffalo over the weekend. Armstrong is looking improved this season. They're 3-0-1 so far this year. Some good young players are giving the Falcons a boost. Cooper has a new coaching staff, but they're hardly new to hockey. Dave Herbst is the head coach, but Tom Klein and Bill Gorel assisting him. They have a wealth of experience coaching on the boys' side. Leah Moore is a standout player for the Hawks. Here's what a couple of players expect.
Well, I think we're going to be great. We have some great returning players from the past years, and we also have Christina Lee, who came from Orono, who everyone is talking about. So we have her. She's really strong. So I think we're going to be really good. I think we really we'll give teams a run for their money. I think we have a good chance at state this year if we keep working hard. So.
Well, last year we had a lot of freshmen that came onto varsity, so a lot of new girls that didn't really have a whole lot of experience at the faster pace of varsity level. So they've all got another year under their belt, and I think they'll do a lot better. We'll see some more goals out of the girls this year too.
Well, turning our attention now to gymnastics. 3 teams stood out as the cream of the crop in our area last season. The combined Armstrong-Cooper team, Wayzata, and Hopkins tied for the Classic Lake title during the regular season. Armstrong edged Wayzata at the Section 5AA meet, while Hopkins won the 6AA championship. At state, Armstrong placed 5th, while senior Angie Sitch won the all-around title, and Hopkins finished 8th. This season, former Maple Grove State champ Tara Schrader takes over as coach at Wayzata. A strong group returns for the Trojans, and they're probably the favorite in the Classic Lake. Armstrong-Cooper lost Sitch and a few others, but they should still have a pretty decent team. Jenny Berglund and Alicia Rue lead the returners. Here's what those teams look for this year.
I'm happy. I think we have a lot of potential. I just hope we can, put it out together. And I think we will. I think everyone really wants it this year, so.
Right now, I think floor is our strongest, but I think beam's a close second. Otherwise, I'm not sure about bars and beam yet, or bars and vault yet. We're still looking.
And Drew Gymnastics team to get started with meet action in about the next week or so.
And we'll look forward to that. Straight ahead in the Sports Jam Spotlight, meet 2 generations of high school officials in the northwest suburbs. It's one of the toughest jobs in sports. They're rarely right and almost always wrong, but for one local family, being an official is a common bond.
Yes, it's been a good run. It's been a good run, and hope it continues for maybe a year or 2 more.
He discovered his passion at the age of 8, acting as an umpire at his father's softball games. Now, with more than 40 years of experience as an official for the Minnesota State High School League, Daryl Bozo Winsek is a familiar face on the prep sports scene.
You like the big games and so forth, although I'm getting up there and I realize that because of the way you got to be able to stay up, work with the kids and keep up with the kids and so forth. Right now I just enjoy just getting out, working a ball game, meeting with a lot of the coaches, dealing with the athletic directors and the kids.
Growing up, that's all we knew about was refereeing through Dad. That was all he seemed to do.
And now it seems that's all 2 of his daughters do.
It's always been something that has been in our family, so it's like he really didn't influence or push or anything, but it's like, yeah, I see that. It's like my dad was as an official, and that was something that I always kind of looked upon.
It's very unique. It's something that I really didn't push, but I could see it because they were good athletes through high school and so forth. And it's something that I'm very proud of. They're very good at it.
Like their father, both Michelle and Jackie
Have some fun out here. Let's have some fun.
began their officiating careers at an early age. Now Michelle has spent the past 11 years calling volleyball, softball, and adaptive sports, while Jackie is in her 7th year as a softball and adaptive sports official. Growing up, they couldn't have had a better mentor than their father.
No, they're dark. They're going to be over there.
He's not one to give advice, but he'll be the first one to give you the pat on the back. Good job, bad job, whatever the feeling is. But one thing he's always instilled in us is just do your best. I can still remember him when he was doing state tournaments. He'd be here shining his shoes, because you got to look good when you're out there, because people are watching you. And I take that into consideration every time I step on the court.
Once I got married, it's like I lost a lot with officiating when I lost Winsek and that, but it's like now I just Bozo is my dad, and oh, okay. So it's like it's like they know me as Bozo's daughter and that.
Sticking with his childhood nickname, it may seem a little ironic for an official to be referred to as a clown, but over the years, Bozo has come to liking his unique moniker.
They'll remember the name Bozo, and I think over the years I've always done a pretty good job working, and figure that they'll remember that that official name by Bozo did a good job.
And if there's one thing this trio of officials have in common, it's their commitment to call a good game.
You know, Dad's always said, you know, do your best, do what you need to do. And when I know I didn't do my best, I know it, and it doesn't make me feel good. And I think about it for days and days and days. It just really gets to me. Play on, guys. We're doing a good job.
You know when you called a good game, or your crew, especially in football, because in football you work so much as a crew and so forth. And you tend to let the kids play ball. You got to call the obvious stuff and so forth, and make sure nobody is gaining an advantage in any part of the game and so forth. But when you run off that field, you feel good that you've worked a good game.
Both Michelle and Jackie hope to continue their officiating careers as long as their fathers. Bozo has thought about hanging up the whistle, but his Gopher State officiating crew is scheduled to work next year's Prep Bowl, so any plans of retiring have been put on hold. Sports Jam returns in a moment.
Our game of the week is a district rivalry game in girls basketball. Maple Grove visits Osseo Friday night. Watch the replay Sunday at 7:30 here on Channel 12, your home for the best in high school sports. And if you were wondering where John Jacobson is this week, take a look behind us here. He is a new father and taking a little well-deserved time to get adjusted to that, and he will be back next week.
Yeah, it's been hard for him to try and plan his schedule around this, but congratulations to John, and good luck. Well, next week it's part 2 of our winter preview as basketball takes center stage. We'll see you then.
Thanks for watching Sports Jam.
This holiday season, Channel 12 is proud to be a drop-off site for the U.S. Marine Corps Toys for Tots campaign.
If you make a cash donation, your contribution will purchase the toys at wholesale prices. That means that more kids can get toys.
Bring in your toys to our studios or mail your contribution to Channel 12. For more information about Toys for Tots, visit our website. And if you do make a donation, we'll display your name right here on our set.
We hope you'll join Channel 12 in giving Toys for Tots.
Looking for a few thrills and chills this holiday season? Join Channel 12 for the Northwest Girls Hockey Tournament December 27th through 29th. Come for thrilling action from Armstrong, Cooper, Champlin Park, Maple Grove, Park Center, and more. Join us at the New Hope Ice Arena and you can win prizes from Channel 12. If you just want to watch at home, see live coverage on Channel 12 each day beginning at 5 p.m. Join us for the Channel 12 Northwest Girls Hockey Tournament December 27th through 29th at New Hope Arena. Thrills or chills? We hope you'll join us.